Alright, so we are back with more Everlasting Summer. So I do believe we are on day 5. The shirt thing hopefully has come to an end now. It's still gonna be a little bit of some boring parts coming on here because obviously, like I said, but certain parts between day 4 and day 5, to me, I think is where things get a little bit boring. But then it kind of picks up like when you start getting towards like the evening. So I'll probably do some skipping to so I don't have to do constant things here. We're gonna do some choices as well. I do believe there's gonna be some that involve Ilyana, but I need to be sure on that. So for now, let's see where this is gonna go. So the trip to the camp leader's cabin took much longer than usual. I had to stop every 50 meters to have a rest. Once I finally made it, I put the baskets on the ground and sat on the deck chair with difficulty. Okay. I'm trying to remember what the hell I did the last time. I think picking berries, if I'm not mistaken. Olga, Dimitri Nava. Olga, I've got presents for you. There was no answer. I barely managed to get up and enter the cabin. Okay. There was nobody there. If you don't need them, it's up to you. I lay down on the deck chair and fell asleep. This guy does that a lot, doesn't he? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, let me do some forwarding on this because this is pretty irrelevant. I kind of find it a little bit funny how he just dreams random stuff like this, though. I think I mentioned that maybe at one part that I've already did that I don't really dream. Yeah. I don't know. It's very rare for me. Uh, they say that's kind of rare for a person, too, though. I don't know. I mean, it's not unheard of, though. I don't know. It's just kind of weird like that, you know. Zemyen. Zemyen. I woke up. Olga was standing beside me, shaking my shoulder. Go figure it would be her, wouldn't it? I see you got a rich harvest, didn't you? Let me see here. I don't think this is relevant to what's going on here, but okay. I'm not seeing anything that has anything to do with Oyana here, but I think thanking the girls is probably going to get those to a point. So I'm not really trying to focus on Slavia and Lena here. So I'll go with this top one. Not really sure if it makes a difference or not because it doesn't really say anything with hers. We're supposed to go to the clubhouse at some point at this day. I don't know. Uh, Other than that, I don't see anything else. So let's go with that. Okay, but that's not all. Seriously, I was just anticipating the lovely rest I was about to have. Do you even know that these strawberries are full? Not a clue. What an honest confession. We'll make a cake out of them. I see. Well, that makes sense. To honor the miraculous rescue of Shark. What miraculous rescue? The guy kind of escaped out and somehow ended up back there on his own. We didn't rescue the guy. I mean, yeah, well, we did kind of find him, but I wouldn't exactly call that a rescue, though. More like, uh, let me stay away from this crazy guy, because coming up on him, he's liable to hit you with something, I think we've learned that twice in a row now. And it's all thanks to you. Like I said, I did nothing. It was clear that getting the strawberries wasn't the last thing left to do. And why? Please tell me if I'm such a hero, why do I have to organize a celebration in my name all by myself? Because it's not a celebration for you. I think you got the name Shirk in there somewhere, right? I mean, yeah, I can kind of get it though. It's like, why don't somebody celebrate my day? Where's mine gonna come from? I don't know. Maybe you have to get lost. But I guarantee nobody would be looking for this guy if he got lost. I don't know. Could you guys picture anybody in this camp looking for him? Somehow I'm gonna say no on it. I don't know. Just something about it though. It's kind of bad. Kind of horrible if you think about it though. I think there'd be one person I can think of out of the whole game that probably would look for him. Miku. you see the way that she kind of is, right? Where when he's not looking for her, she usually finds him. It's kind of kind of weird like that. I think the only other person that might look for him besides her would be Eula, but uh, I'm kind of wondering if he would get freaked out though. I don't know. Because everybody else in the camp, you kind of see how they kind of go about themselves. Yeah, I could kind of see everybody not even realizing this guy's gone. you know. Although she might, hear this person that's standing in front of me. Olga might, because the way that she kind of uses him as an errand person, I can see her, maybe. But that'd be the only reason she would even be looking for it, though. I don't know. So, I have an important task for you. Yeah, go figure. You always have something, don't you? We are missing yeast, flour, and sugar. I need it all in the canteen before dinner. And those who will make the cake can't deal with it on their own somehow? I asked pitifully. Of course they can't. They can't bake a cake? Other than they're busy. And yet this guy's not busy. How are they more busier than this guy? And you are the only one in the whole camp who does nothing. I don't know about that. Since this guy got this camp, he's doing it's all over the place. I don't know about that one. It's like, what nothing could you be talking about? I don't recall that. Well, her words were partly true. That doesn't make it any easier for me now. Moreover, those words felt like a bullet to my head. So, write it down. You get yeast in the infirmary, flour in the library, and sugar in the clubhouse. So that's like 3 different places that he needs to go. But the only one of these places that we're going to is relevant to where he needs to go. Other than that, still, I don't know. Somebody constantly coming to me all the time and just asking me, you know what, I need this, I need that from this place. It's like, what? Go get it yourself, I don't know. That'd be my thought, It's like, I'm pretty sure there's more than one person in this place that could be your lackey, I don't know. Personal lackey kind of thing. Wait up. I have no time. I'm in a hurry. Yeah, go figure. Look at that. Good luck. I swear that she probably knows him in a previous life. He probably wouldn't even be aware. Talking about Olga here. Because nobody else other than this lady, constantly has him doing these runaround places, right? She smiled shyly and left. Of course, there were a lot of strange things in his camp, but yeast in the infirmary. Okay, I can deal with that, but why is yeast in the infirmary, first off? Flour in the library. Yeah, wrong places. It's like, okay, not really some places where you find these things, right? Lying around, and sugar. I don't know. No, it's way beyond my comprehension. I spat on the floor. But this is going to lead to some choices, so I'm just going to skip a little bit ahead here now. Alright, so, but just to be on the safe side, because you know how I am, guys. Let's see, we're day 5, so let's overwrite this for now. But I don't want to kind of keep you for too long by going to all these places, so let me see what's what, and then I'll come back. Alright, so it says we're supposed to go to the club room, but going in here, though, I don't see Oyana anywhere in here. It's somebody else. See some other people, but that's where it says we're supposed to go. Go to the clubhouse. Okay. So, let's see what this is. Feels like I've gone through more things today than all the previous days combined. Thus, approaching the clubhouse, I'd even forgotten to think about how awkward it must be to look for sugar there. I would imagine. Oh, jeez. Yeah, go figure. Shuriken Electronic were enthusiastically building something. It's a sex robot. Look at it. It's got boobs and, just use your imagination. Look at, Shurik looks like he's, like, I don't know, like he's thinking too hard here. And, I don't know, Electronics probably like, are we really building this thing? I don't know. It's just something that came to mind. But I mentioned before how I said with these ears at the top, something tells me that this guy, Shurik here, He knows more than what he let on to the last time, but just didn't really say nothing. I don't know. But I'm just gonna skip a little bit of this because I saw this 3 times in a row now, or maybe twice, I should say. I don't feel like seeing it like a third time now. Charlie, I need sugar. Okay, so I don't really care about what this is gonna lead to. It's not really gonna do much. Like I said, it's kind of weird how the guide has this, Okay, just after a mere 20 meters, I had to put the bag down to have a rest. I had no idea how much it weighed, but it felt like more than 20 kilos. Alright. I heard a voice behind me. Okay. Maybe I can help you. Did not expect you to be in this scene. Are you sure this walkthrough is correct? I mean, I've looked up all of them too, and all of them has the same choice. I don't know. It's kind of weird like that. But I'm guessing there's nothing that really has anything to do with her. She just happens to be there. But it's just kind of weird. Like, this is supposed to be in Oyana's. Something to do with Oyana, but she wasn't even in the clubhouse back there. I don't know. I don't think you can. It was one of those moments when I felt painfully how dramatic I was out of shape. I could bring a handcart. Handcart? Why didn't I think of that myself? Yes, that would be great. Wait here. I'll be right back. She smiled and ran in the direction of the square. Okay. What would I do without her? Don't know. It's good that Lena isn't always that shy and can take the initiative sometimes. I started to think. She seemed quite unusual now, with no trace of shyness on her face and actually the complete opposite. Smiles and confidence. Okay, so this also, looking at the walkthrough here, it also says kind of plays a little bit in Lena's route. Okay, well, she showed up here, but I did not see Oyana back there. I don't know, that's weird. The offer of help wasn't something extraordinary by itself, but getting it from Lena. Okay. A few minutes later, she came back with a smallish handcart. I put the bag down on it. Thanks. Don't mention it. She blushed and looked down. Oh, the Lena we all know is back. So, I'll go then. Yeah, see you. And thank you again. I shouted after her. Sometimes I felt like there are 2 different people living inside of Lena. But the second one, confident, happy, and sometimes even bold, only appears when she talks to me. Or am I making things up again? I thought that it would be better if I get all the ingredients at once, so I headed to Olga Dmitrievna's cabin with the handcart. Okay, so here I thought the library, because I'm pretty positive the library is going to lead to something with Alyssa, so I don't really want to do that this time. So see what this infirmary one is. I feel like I visited the infirmary too often recently. Yeah, but I'm just going to skip a little bit of this because the nurse is pretty irrelevant here. Like I said, so much random stuff on day 5. It feels like it doesn't really seems out of place in the game. I don't know. It's just the way I kind of come across it. Well, beer certainly could replace yeast. Even my limited knowledge of chemistry and biology was enough to accept this. But, okay. Slavia. What exactly? Yes, search my ingredients. So you know already. Yes, I do. Slavia smiled. It's going alright. I answered, trying not to give away my own rest. And what do you have there? She pointed at the bottle sticking out from under my shirt. This. She got me. It's nothing. I blushed with a silly giggle. It's time to go. What the hell? I was almost running, leaving the square with the puzzled Slavia behind. It's great that she is one of those people who don't ask unnecessary questions. But there are people in this camp who like nothing better than to poke their noses into other people's business. Really? I doubt Slavia is the type to do that. She just kind of, I don't know, you just happen to be there. She just happened to be there. I don't know. That's in the Pioneers' cabins. I stumbled upon Oyana. And that's just what I'm talking about. She was a here and not the other place. Kind of odd. What are you hiding there? Oh boy. She gave me one of her cheeky looks. I thought there was no point in denying anything, so I replied in a provocative manner. Provocative? Uh, I want to know what you're thinking, though. It's none of your business. I'm a cipher officer being a message to headquarters. Good lord. That's certainly a big message. I was carrying the bottle at waist high, and so I was slightly embarrassed. You want some help? I'll deal with it on my own. I walked past her confidently and proceeded on my way. To my surprise, she didn't say anything, nor try to pursue me. There was nobody at Olga's cabin, so I successfully managed to stuff the bottle under my bed. Is that bottle going to come into play? No. Once I got outside, I sighed with relief. I think the one time that it did come into play had to do with Alyssa's route, but I don't know if it's going to happen here, but you never know, right? Really, I couldn't believe that I would ever worry that much about a single bottle of beer. I hate beer. It tastes like piss. Most of it does. Yeah. Just sad, It's a good thing it's safe now. Even if somebody finds it, I'll claim that it's not mine. I could always think up a suitable excuse for my enormous experience. I said that one time to my uncle. He was like, how would you know what piss tastes like? I was like, well, I don't. But I think it's a figure of speech of people come up with, things that have a very bizarre taste to them that you don't feel, that don't sit too well with you kind of thing, right? So I think most of the time it's like we say one of two things. It's like it tastes like shit or it tastes like piss. It's usually one or the other, right? But it's usually a metaphor for something else. I was like, no, not literally. I mean, I would hope nobody does that, the idea of that anyway. Okay, so this last one, like I said, is going to lead to Alyssa, so I'm not really too worried about this. I'm just going to skip a little bit here. Try to snatch the book out of Alyssa's hand, so if I stay on guard, which actually is not what we're supposed to do, so that's if you're going to do her route. Those of you that might be new to this. So we're actually going to snatch the book out of her hand. But doing so, obviously she's going to get a look here at some point. Yeah. Familiar with Alyssa. I kind of got used to it. I gotta say, after playing this now, after a few routes of doing this, or a few routes now, I will say that Alyssa's kind of moved up a little bit compared to when I first started the game. I would say that she's my favorite, but I'm just saying in terms of the way that her route went and so many things that kind of went in that route. Yeah, she definitely moved up a little bit. But I need to see between Miku and Lena to see whether my thoughts have changed, in terms of that goes. Now, right now, because I'm not on their route, I'm still going to say that Slavia is the best girl so far. I'm talking in terms of between the two. Uh, but Alyssa has a little bit more personality, though. Something I kind of wish Slavia did have a little bit. Not that she doesn't have any. But there are times where I felt like she could have, there could have been more. I think, kind of thing. It's the other stuff that goes on in her route that makes you more or less curious. Okay, is there more to this girl than just all smiles and kind of this shyness type, this nature type girl, right? No, there wasn't a whole lot there. Like the ending was pretty good though. I still remember getting the ending of that, and I gotta say it was still pretty enjoyable. But Alyssa's ending, I would say, definitely was a little better though, because like they were on the bus. It was the one time, it was the first time somebody besides himself was with him when he ended up disappearing back into his own, back into where he come from. So it's like with Slavia, it's more like okay, one thing led to another. Then all of a sudden he was back, back home, and he didn't see her until like towards the end where she was just kind of there. Good ending, but pretty normal. I would say pretty normal basic ending. I would say for Slavia. So hopefully I'm gonna see what Ilyana's ending here is about, though. But I'm gonna say, as I mentioned before, how this one so far, while there's things that's okay with Ilyana, she doesn't deviate too much from her personality, and that's kind of the one area where I'm not quite able to get into the route as much, because while it's good to have a sense of humor, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're just constantly to the point of always just joking around, I need something. Yeah, I need a little bit of a balance from you, because it's like a relationship in real life. If I was to try to get with this person's energy would be too much for me to keep up with constantly. It wouldn't work. So it's like I always say you need a little bit of that in your life, but not to the point where it's like too overbearing. And you can see kind of how Semyon would be. I could imagine these two not really lasting that long in real life if these two were to be some type of couple. Because you see how Semyon is, and you see the way Ilyana is. There's just no way I could, that could be, that could happen. So, yeah. I could see a date for a short period of time, but it wouldn't be something that would be, I could picture them lasting long term. Between Slavia and Alyssa, yeah, I definitely could picture those two. Although Slavia, as much as even though I kind of like her though, I could see where Semyon would probably want something a little more though, because like I always say, looks is one thing that can get you to the person, but you need the personality. It's like most people only have possess one or the other, right? Sometimes either the person has good looks but a shitty personality, and then some people don't have much of a personality but they have good looks, right? So it's like I don't know. Uh, but on some occasions you can get both, where you get both good looks and a good personality to go with it. But it's kind of rare. But it can't. Not saying that it can't happen, but it's usually like most of us, if we find somebody out there, usually we just try to accept. I'm saying once you find the person, once you find the one anyway, usually we try to accept whatever they are at that point, no matter what it is. So yeah. Now let's get back to the plot. I asked her tiredly. She didn't reply. Those are the ingredients for a cake. Oh yeah, this is the part where he just closed his eyes and he's talking to Eula here. So, but we're just gonna skip a little bit of this because it's gonna play out eventually. This part anyway. Sudden gusts of wind made me grab the card instinctively and open my eyes. All right, so yeah, you were doing more than daydreaming. There wasn't a single person near the canteen. No wonder. Dinner was still an hour away. Alright, so let's do a little more skipping, because I think Miku's going to bump into him. Hi. Yep, as I said, this character knows how to make an introduction in front of him. I said, of all the people that I think could find him in this game, if this guy was somewhere lost, she'd be the one that could find him. I don't know. But if he went to look for her, I don't think he could find her if she didn't want to be found. I don't know. Something about it, Classic Miku there for you. Yeah. I didn't need a mirror to imagine the expression of skepticism and annoyance on my face. Oh, excuse me. I must have interrupted you. No problem. I was just sitting here. Ah, alright then. Miku beamed with a smile. I was just coming to dinner. I thought that it's time already, and then it appeared to me that it's too early, but I decided to check just in case. Maybe it's not me who's mistaken, but the clock is. Are you keeping track of time or something? Well, not the clock. Clocks can't be mistaken. It's just that I misread it. She seemed to be ultimately confused now and fell silent. She does that a lot, doesn't she? Where she just rambles, It's all about half an hour before dinner. Oh, that's great. Then I'll sit here and wait with you if you don't mind. Frankly speaking, I do mind. I wish you could say this out loud to her. It's like, he thinks one way, it's like, please don't bother me. I don't want you around me. I don't know. It's like she says, let me sit beside you, and then this is his thinking. I don't know. It's kind of funny. You know, I have some matters to attend to. The way that he just blows her off, though, it's just so priceless, though. I know some of you, a couple of you guys said that there's a reason that he's like this. I don't know. It always takes me back, though. It's like, I don't know anybody that's going to be like, I mean, yeah, sometimes it depends on the person, though. Like, you're not really going to be that, that have that kind of intuition to think that if this person's going to be a good person or not. Because I always say, they always say never judge a book by its cover type of thing, But then again, her name is Miku, and, who knows? It's mysterious. Not that Miku, though, even though she kind of shares resemblance to Hatsune. But this character's name is Miku Masha. Now, they did that. They took the Hatsune away to avoid copyright, but you can't tell me this character doesn't look as somewhat like Miku, though, even though the personality is a little different than no, the that version of Miku from Project Diva. That character is more of a tsundere, but this one's not quite on that level. It's more like you got something about you that piqued my curiosity, but I'm not sure what it is. I don't know. I stood up quickly and left without saying goodbye, ignoring Miku as I always did, while she screamed something after me. Yeah, you do that a lot. But you know what? I've decided that, after getting Yoyana's route completed, she would be next. I figured, you know what? Okay, even though she's a bonus character, I figured since somebody already mentioned how they did a good route and then they ended up doing her, the first girl that they did after they completed Semyon's good ending, I'm actually going to do her next, though. I figured, okay, maybe I could do Lena, then do her. But I figured, you know what? I've been curious about this character even more so than Lena since I've kind of already seen her bad ending. And I want to see what this character is about. Because apparently there's a lot of plot that goes on in her route. And she does a lot of things that you wouldn't think. I don't know. That's from what I understand anyway. And that's about all I know. Still, I always say I do kind of dig crazy chicks a little bit. There's just something about them in games you just can't help but just kind of you just want to pursue them, even if it's not really ideal to do so, right? It's like, will I die if I come after you? I don't know. Is it gonna do something to where my life comes to an end if I'm pursuing this character? I don't know. I always say you just never know with certain ones. If she turns out to be a yandere, then I don't know. All bets are off on that one because I never could take yanderes very well. I never cared for them, and I don't care too much for them in anime. And yeah, it's like it's because it's mainly the way that they go about themselves. Like they have a certain obsession, right? Ah, keep your food and your drinks, any of that kind of stuff away from any girls that might be a potential rival because if a yandere senses, once they get to that point and they start, get to the point where they feel like girls are going to take that person away, yeah, it's about that time. It's time to get going. It's time to, I don't know, start to keep your eyes, keep both eyes open kind of thing, right? I don't know. Just the way I look at it, anyway. A minute later, I got to the square and sat on the bench with the firm intention of finding a quiet and safe place here to wait for dinner. I think this is the first time in the last 4.5 days when I felt like this. Let me do some skipping here. I don't think this is going to lead to anything, but you never know. Yeah, Ilyana. Ilyana was standing in front of me and smiled shyly. I almost forgot that I'm on her route, that I'm talking about Miku here. Nobody really. But that's the thing about Miku, it's like as soon as you see her, you can't help but just, I don't know, you just something about the character you just want to pursue, even though you're on a different route. And she does this a lot, like, no matter whose route you're on or what character you're trying to get with for the time being, She just has a certain presence about her. I don't know. I answered absently, but my fist gave me away, just like that. Okay, okay. It's up to you. You better tell me. Why did you run around the camp the whole day with some kind of bags? I had to. I replied reluctantly. I guess it was food. Maybe it was. Ayana was about to say something, but at that moment the bell rang, calling the pioneers for dinner. I sighed in relief and headed quickly to the canteen, leaving Ayana behind. Uh, okay, damn. And I do believe this is gonna lead to the damn cake. Damien, thank you very much. For what? The camp leader gave me a friendly smile. For the cake, of course. Ah, sure. It was at that exact moment that I understood the true meaning of the saying, keep your thanks to feed your cat. I never heard of this saying before, but I guess I'll go with it. I don't know. You didn't tell anybody. This ought to be a surprise. Yeah. Let me do some skipping. Attaboy. My goodness. Because it's this part's what's going to lead to the cake, and yeah. Hey, are you alright? I'm fine. I replied without changing my position. Just tired. Yeah, a little. That's bad. Slavia said it seriously. Of course. You remember that we are going for a hike after the dinner, don't you? Have you prepared everything? Hmm. What? Where? That'd be my response too. It's like, I opened my eyes and lifted my head up instantly. I've done that. Like, how many of you? Like, somebody says something to you, you're kind of off. Your thoughts are off somewhere else. You're not really paying that much attention, and all of a sudden, like, you get this kind of thing on you. You're not really sure what to say to spot because you're so all over the place. Your mind is not really properly functioning. So it's like you come back down to earth. It's like, could you repeat what you just said? Like, I got to do something else now. Like, and then it dawns on you, right? Oh. Nina was standing by Slavia. The hike? She was surprised. Didn't you know? No. I put my head down on the table and covered it with my hands. If only I could sink it to the ground right away. The girls remained silent. I was up to well with my thoughts for some time, and that was fine by me. Maybe I could have sat that way until the end of dinner time, but the strong voice of Uga was heard from the opposite end of the canteen. Guys, to celebrate the miraculous rescue of our friend and comrade Sherrick, we baked this cake for you all. Comrade. Good boy. He ain't my comrade. Maybe yours, not mine. I lifted my head idly and looked towards the camp leader, but couldn't see anything beyond the pioneers' backs. I'm only seeing two people in front of me. A second. Just a second. And nothing about me. Nothing about me rescuing Shirk or gathering the ingredients for the cake. As if that's how it ought to be. That would feel kind of shitty, though. It's like, no thanks for just kind of running around all over the place, Well, it would be wrong to expect anything else from our camp leader. I did that with my, when I was younger, because my dad was kind of like, not quite like Oga, not to that degree. Like, my uncle was like that. Anytime I was over at a relatives or whether it's my uncles or even just at home, whenever they did chores, and let's say, you got done cleaning, right, you don't hear the word thanks for doing so. It's like, and then one time I think I actually said something about that. It's like, I didn't get a thank you for that. I did all that back there. It's like, hey, it's work. You don't get thanks for doing all that. It's like, jeez. It's like, that's kind of what told me. It's like, I don't really like working. But as you get older, though, you kind of realize you kind of have to if you want to get by in the world, kind of thing, right? Uh, Let's go. We won't get our share. Slavia smiled. Let's go. Rena agreed. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Whoop. Alright, so here's a familiar scene that we all familiarize with, but since they're all kind of here and the Yada's in the scene, it's alright to keep this, I guess. The camp leader wasn't able to finish as Ayana rushed out from the pioneer crowd and dived into the cake. She managed to nibble it a few times before she was pulled away. She was kicking and screaming. I stared blankly from the outside at all this drama, Alyssa smiling, Lena picking up some cream with her finger, all the furious pioneers around. I felt completely out of place here, that I thought that if I closed my eyes now and opened them again, here I am, back to the safety of my apartment in front of the computer. Good Lord. I blinked, but nothing changed. Only the noise and the confusion became sharper. Hey, Yana, that's the limit. I just... Well, the fact behaving like this is a bit over the top even for her. Not really, this is more like her. Jurek broke into the conversation, or is it a court-martial? Please, Olga. Since the cake is celebrating my return, it's no big deal. He hesitated. It doesn't matter. The camp leader turned to Oyana. And you. Today I'm gonna punish you to the fullest extent, so you'll behave next time. Whatever. She snorted and turned back. You won't be going on a hike with us tonight. As if I wanted to. I was more than willing to switch places with Oyana and skip the hike instead of her, but who knew? If I had guessed beforehand, I'd have been the first one to go berserk and smash the damn cake. After a couple of minutes of confusion, the pioneers started to disperse. You have to get ready too. Good Lord. There'll be a lineup at the square in half an hour. I looked straight into the eyes of the camp leader, trying to express my attitude non-verbally, but it seems that I failed. Don't be late. Good Lord. Eliana was sitting at the table when I approached her on my way to the exit. So, why did you do it? She looked very upset. But she had a right to be so. I wanted to. Eliana replied abruptly. So, you're happy now? Of course I am. Why are you blushing? And you, good luck with the hiking. Of course. She smiled mischievously, sprang up, and rushed out of the canteen. Well, a little bit of luck wouldn't hurt. Really. Walking you shall reach. It was exactly this proverb that kept whirling in my head all the way down to the camp leader's cabin. Somehow I just couldn't manage to argue, to pretend that I'm sick, or to just skip it without a reason. The events of this day taught me submissiveness, although sometimes whatever was happening made no sense to me. Alright, so he's going down here, so I'm just going to do some skipping, because I'm going to need to make a save at some point and then call it apart. Xenia? Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is a part I'm going to skip a little bit of, because it's kind of familiar. I should off-screen a lot of these skipping scenes, but I don't really want to do that, because then I might accidentally go forward if I just do the full skip thing. It's hard to kind of stop it once it starts doing that sometimes. So, Zavia sat next to me. Yeah. Okay. I just want to get to the part where a choice comes up. Okay. So, this is where we need to be for next time. But let me make the save so that I can come back to this. Because this will at least lead it to day 6 after a while. And then Ilyana's route should officially start at that point. Trying to find out what Alyssa and Lena are arguing about. We're not going to do that. We're actually going to stay seated, I do believe. One of them only leads to Slavia. I think another one leads to Ilyana. But I have to see how that's going to go. Alright, so for now, not a bad part. I figured to kind of get it out at least. Because it's been a few days at least since the last time I put up a part, and I actually put 2 parts up the last time, so because I'm trying to do my best to at least try to get this route done. But I always say you just it's never easy to finish one, once you get started sometimes. I just kind of wish it was done so I could move on to Miku and Lena's routes, and then obviously the main plot of the game, and then I can give my review for the entire game after I do everybody's route. So, alright, so with that, that's pretty much all I got for this one.